Hello, 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 boys and girls. My name is Albert Horne Sr. I'm going to be your Storytime reader today. Today's story is being brought to you by BCDI-Charlotte. Today, we're going to be reading Coming Home, a story of Josh Gibson, baseball greatest home run hitter. Today's story is being authored by Nanette Milage and illustrated by Cornelius Van Wright and Ying Wahoo. Please enjoy. The best hitter I ever saw. Bet here's one you won't know. He played many years ago for the Homestead Grays, a Negro League team in Homestead, Pennsylvania. Josh Gibson was his name. It's granddad talking to grandson. In those days, segregation was the law of the land. Blacks and whites lived in separate neighborhoods, went to separate schools, even rode in separate sections of the same bus. It was no different with baseball, so white players had the major leagues and black players had the Negro leagues. A little bit of history here for you. The Negro leagues had a lot of great players. Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, Satchel Paige, and Smokey Joe Williams were as well known to Negro League fans as Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Ty Cobb were to Major League fans. Negro League, Major League. Pop took me to every home game the Grays played. I was 10 when Josh joined the team. He was just 18 years old, but to me, he looked like a giant. And was that man fast. By the time the outfielders chased down what he'd hit, Josh would already be on third base. He was also powerful, so big, and so strong, and that everybody took to calling him Thunder. Each time Josh was up to bat, we yelled, "Thunder's coming!" It didn't take the fielders long to figure out what that meant. Josh hit hard. The year they signed Josh was one of the best ever for the Grays. They whipped all comers and won 11 games out of 12 on a barnstorming tour against the Kansas City Monarchs. We called them the Kings of the East because it looked to us like there was no one left to beat. Then along came John Henry Lloyd. He was the shortstop and manager for the New York Lincoln Giants. The Giants had also completed a winning season, so Lloyd challenged the Grays to a 10-game series to see which team would be the Negro League champions. Nearly everybody in town turned out for the series opener. The Grays took the first game with a score of 9-1. In the second game, Josh did us proud with a home run over the center field fence. The next 4 games were played out of town, so Pop had to buy the Pittsburgh Courier and turn straight to the sports page to find out what we had missed. The Grays were ahead of Lincoln 4-2. Game 7 was going to be played at the famous Yankee Stadium. Pop couldn't stand to miss out on that game. He decided it was a good time for us to pay a visit to my Uncle Ray in New York. We wanted to get a good look at the place that was home to Yankee greats Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, So we got to the stadium early. Staring up at the triple tier stands that stood as high as a 10-story building, I felt swallowed up by the size of it. In fact, it was the first ballpark ever built that was large enough to be called a stadium. To see the best of the Negro Leagues play in the most famous ballpark in the world was something I would never forget. Some of the players were warming up on the field. I spotted Josh right away and called out, "Hey, Josh, will you hit a home run for us today?" He came up to us and said, "I'm sure going to try." He gave me his autograph and shook Pop's hand. The smile on Pop's face was just about the biggest anyone ever had. I reckon we could have gone home then and there. A day just couldn't get any better than that. But it sure could get worse. From the outset, the Lincoln team had the Grays on the run. Their starting pitcher was Luther Farrell. He was one of the finest pitchers in the league and was at the top of his game that day. Time and again, our Homestead boys struck out. We were all feeling a little down when Josh came to the plate for the fourth time. He hadn't got a single hit off Farrell the whole game. Farrell let go a third pitch, and Josh swung his mighty arms. Strike three. When Josh went back to the dugout and laid his bat down, my heart sank right along with it. The Grays were trailing, and things didn't look to be getting any better. Pop was so nervous, he took off his hat and nearly bent it in two. At the top of the ninth, John Henry Lloyd sent Broadway Rector to the pitcher's mound. Broadway had a slow ball that could fake out some of the best sluggers in the league. So when he stepped onto the field, the Lincoln crowd went, "Wow." Josh was up to bat again. As he walked to the batter's box, I could hear people saying, "That kid can't hit." And go ahead, Broadway, hand the boy back to his mama. Ooh, that's not nice. Pop must have heard it too, because he got mad, real mad. He stood up right in the middle of everybody and yelled, "Look out now, thunder's coming." Then I heard somebody else shout, "Thunder's coming." I got up too, and soon all the Grays fans stood up shouting, "Thunder's coming." I don't know if Josh heard us, but down in the batter's box, he looked like he was standing even taller than usual. Sometimes all you need is an uplift, somebody to carry you on. Broadway waited for what seemed like the longest time. When he finally let go of the ball, it moved so slow, a couple of folks looked at their watches, wondering if it would get past home plate before dark. Josh didn't budge. The ball kept crawling toward him, getting slower all the time. I was sure he was faked out when, pow! The bat was just a blur. Everyone jumped up, trying to catch sight of the ball as it zoomed past left center field and kept on going. Up it went until it hit the back wall of the bullpen and disappeared right out of Yankee Stadium. Well, even the Lincoln fans had to put their hands together for Josh. Everybody in the stands was clapping and cheering. Come on home, boy. Come on home. Josh was a fast runner, but just this once, he took his time, trotted to every base, and grasped every outstretched hand. Pop's hat was so twisted up, he couldn't wear it anymore. So he just threw it in the air and shouted, "Come on home." No player in any league before or since has hit the ball as far as Josh did that day. As for me, I have yet to see a finer sight than that afternoon in September 1930 when Thunder came on home. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of our story today. I hope you enjoyed Coming Home, a story of Josh Gibson, baseball greatest home run hitter. Now, be sure, boys and girls, to make sure you read a book every single day for at least 15 minutes actively. For more information on active reading and other fun resources, visit readcharlotte.org or visit our website, BCDI-Charlotte, for a list of relevant and responsive books. Please subscribe to our channel, like our post, and tune in tomorrow for another exciting story. Thank you.